Hey geeks, what's going on? Welcome to the Geek XP and welcome to Overwatch. This is going to be the first episode in a series that I'm going to do to cover two of the characters in this game that have in my opinion, two of the highest skill caps in the game. And I want to get good at this game, so I want to get good at these high skill characters. So, oh, that's my friend. I'm going to message him in just a second. And we're going to start in training, and we're going to do Genji and Hanzo. I'm going to call this series the Shimada Brothers Boot Camp. So if you guys are like, I want to play Overwatch and I want to play this cool cyber ninja and bow assassin, archer, but they're so difficult to play, well then this might be the series for you where you can join me and sort of learn from my pitfalls and the things that I figure out, and we can get better together. So we're going to jump into training, go over their abilities, and sort of get comfortable with them. I played a couple games with them in the past couple days, but just kind of go over it for both of our sakes, and then we'll jump into some games after that. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright, so we are here in the training grounds in the practice range, so we can get a handle on these characters, go over their abilities, and so on and so forth. So we're going to start off with Genji, showing off his cool yellow skin. So let's jump right in here. So Genji starts with has 200 health. His primary fire on his left click is his shuriken being thrown in a straight line. They have no arc, they have no damage fall off, they stay true forever, and they deal, I believe, 28 damage apiece. I'm not exactly sure on these numbers, this is just sort of like a basic overview. So that's their primary fire on left. You can just hold down the button and you'll fire them at a good rate. And then you can hold it to 24, you fire 3 per round. His alternate fire on right click throws them in a fan in front of him, and they go a little bit farther out as they go. This is much better in close quarters because the fire rate is faster than the primary fire. So if you're going up against a big target like a Reinhardt or a Roadhog or in close quarters, then the right click is a better option just because it's higher DPS. Your shift ability is a dash that deals 50 damage and sends you forward in whatever direction you're facing, which includes vertical distance. And if you get a kill, even an assist, doesn't have to be with that ability, it resets. Otherwise it has a cooldown. So watch, I can jump, shift, and it'll send me up here. And then it has like an 8-second cooldown. So a really handy tool, both for getting in and out of combat, dealing damage, but also maneuvering around the map. Your E ability is a deflect, where you send projectiles back where your target reticle is aimed. So you can also get headshots with that. Super handy for taking out bastions. You can even deflect a McCree's flashbang. The only things you can't deflect are Zarya's beam primary, Winston's Tesla cannon, Symmetra's primary fire, and May's primary fire. And I believe that's all. If it's a beam, you can't deflect it. Projectile, you can. You can even deflect things like Hanzo's ultimate if you time it properly and hit the arrow. You can't just deflect the dragons back. You have to the arrow that he fires with them. So you have to be pretty up close to do it because the arrow disappears and the dragons appear. So his passive is his cyber agility, which gives him the double jump. You jump again, and you'll, jump again. And then his other one is if you hold down space, you climb walls. So you jump, hold it, and you climb the surface. Not like a scrub like I was and mess it up. You can also toggle that to do automatically. I don't like that because when I'm in like dueling someone and I'm jumping around, I don't like accidentally climbing up a wall I didn't want to. I like having a little bit more control over it. So Genji's super mobile, and I really like that about him. He's probably got the best mobility in the game. Now your ultimate is super powerful. You pull out your Dragon Blade, your Shuriken no longer are your primary weapon fire, and are replaced by your Dragon Blade. Does 120 damage per swing. You can do a max of 8 swings because I believe the ability lasts for 8 seconds, 1 swing per second. You can still deflect. You can still dash. Your dash will immediately get reset once you activate Dragon Blade. However, your deflect is not changed. It acts as normal. And it's really powerful. I do not recommend engaging a fight, obviously, with it. Use it during a team fight and sneak in the side and then take the surprise. So you take it out, dragon appears, swing twice. And super handy for getting a couple kills and then dashing through, get that dash reset, swing, dash again, and just, be all over the place. So that's the basic overview for Genji. I'm still trying to get a handle on leading his shuriken for as consistent damage as I can possibly get with them. I find they're not reliable at best just because of that travel time. You have to lead them. I find that you can engage from long range, but Genji benefits greatly from being at a range where he can move around. If you're too far away and they can see you, then they'll start moving around and it's hard to land the shuriken. So more at a medium range where you can go from long range shuriken into your short range, trying to hit them all at the same time, and then maybe going into a dash, letting that reset on a kill, and then going on from there and then getting out. So that's what I like using Genji for. You know, my goal right now when I'm using him is to stay alive as long as possible, harass the enemies, do some damage, poke, get a kill if I can, but my goal at this point, when my skill is not high enough, I'm not aiming for kills and as many kills as I can, but to stay alive as long as I can, because I find if I'm staying alive for longer, then I'm doing a better job at getting consistent damage out and harassing people. So that's Genji. We're going to go into Hanzo now and go over his abilities. Alright, so here we have Hanzo. He's under the defense class. He's a sniper kind of character with some interesting utility. I have purchased his dragon skin with some coins I built up because it is my favorite Hanzo skin, as it is an ode to Bruce Lee's The Game of Death. You also might recognize the stylings from Kill Bill, which got it from Game of Death and Bruce Lee, and he also gets like some Bruce Lee like themed sprays and emotes and stuff. Super cool, and I think even some Bruce Lee quotes. So that immediately endears him to me. So Hanzo is so difficult to play. I'm still having a hard time. His bow has a crazy arc to it. Damage is based on how far you pull back the arrow, and requires a good lead on the target. Your movement speed is slowed down while you are while your arrow is pulled back. You don't have to reload, which is nice. And if you pull back an arrow, you can hit R to put it away without firing it. But yeah, finding the arc and figuring out where the arrows are going to land, even on these like stationary targets, I'm still having a hard time with some of these hits. You sort of have to figure out with his. I definitely recommend keeping his default reticle, as you get a decent idea of where your arrows might land. I tried out with some of the other ones, and this works so much better for me. So yeah, getting the arc and knowing it fairly well and leading your targets, because you know these projectiles do have travel time, is super tricky. So getting into his other abilities, Hanzo has his left shift. It's his sonic arrow, which you can stick to a person or a surface, and what it does is it kind of gives you sort of X-ray for a couple seconds into a surface. There's a long cooldown time. I try to use it as often as I can on cooldown, so as to give my allies as much information as possible. It's great, especially as Hanzo, to line up a shot when someone's about to come out of a corner. You can be ready for him and try to snipe him. If you're not a scrub like me, you can probably do it. His E ability is his scatter arrow, which scatters into fragments. I believe dealing a max like 400 damage in total, and they scatter from where they hit. So try to hit the ground beneath someone. It's great for taking care of if you get jumped as Hanzo, especially by a tracer. Shoot the ground right in front of them, and all the bolts will fly into the air, dealing a huge amount of damage. It's also good for getting around if someone just gets behind cover. You can like try to like shoot it into an enclosed space and see if you can't get them with some of the fragmenting projectiles. Your passive is like Genji. You don't have the double jump, but you do get the wall climb, so which is super handy for getting into those nice sniper spots. Like playing characters like Bastion and Genji, I like to not stick around in one spot for too long. Once I've made myself known. That's like the worst thing as a sniper, is that once they know where you are, and once you started dealing a good amount of damage to them, they're going to come for you. So I like to stay mobile, and Hanzo delivers on that. Oh, come on. Thank you.
Best you can do.
And then your ultimate. Your ultimate is, anyone who's played this game knows the Rugo Wakateki Wogu blah, 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 which is you fire a arrow which turns into 2 spirit dragons that fly clear across the map, through obstacles, through enemies, and does like 200 damage per second for anyone who's standing at the core of it, and then it falls off a little bit all around the edges. Has a huge audio cue, but if you use it in coordination with like your sonic arrow, which I just sort of like dip off, you can get a good idea, hide behind a corner or a wall and shoot it through that and let him take it out. You can get a lot of play of the games like that. It does go at an angle. I still need to get better because I'll sometimes aim it too low and I feel like it goes through the floor and doesn't hit anybody. It's a great ultimate to use. It can be a great game changer, and if you want to play the game, it's a good one for that. Sort of get a cue of the game, as it were. So these are their characters and their abilities, and this is sort of like the intro to the Shimada Brothers Boot Camp, which I hope you guys enjoy. I'm just going to go right out here and say that I am still learning this game. I'm still getting the handle on my Twitch aiming skills, and these guys are really hard to play and really hard to play well. So if you guys watch, at the beginning at least, do not expect pro level play. I'm learning these characters, and the purpose of this series is for us to learn together. You can learn from my experiences. I'll be commentating my thoughts, ways to improve my play, and hopefully you guys can learn as well. So that's the purpose of this. Not to show necessarily what to do at the beginning, but how to learn. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys have been awarded some Geek XP. I'm looking so forward to making more of these episodes for you guys. I love these characters. They're so cool. Once I saw the Dragon Short, I was like, I need to learn these characters, and I think many people did. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay geeky, my friends.